So our Boon Totem theory that we have created not too long ago seems to be coming true, and we're going to be talking about that in today's video. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're going to jump straight into this video, but before we do, we are giving out some DLC codes for Pinhead, as well as Stranger Things, since it is going to say goodbye very soon. We are currently live on Twitch, so as you're watching this, come on over. We'll be giving some of those codes out. In order to actually get these codes, we'll be doing some random draws, as well as showing some codes on the screen, so please don't come in just strictly asking for the codes. We'll be continuously pushing them out. With that being said, let's talk about the Boon Totems and the theory that we actually created, and what this sets up for the future of DBD. In case you missed it not too long ago, we created a theory talking about what the potential of only a solo survivor would mean coming into Dead by Daylight. We said that if a solo survivor does indeed come into Dead by Daylight in the mid-chapter patch, or when the chapter is fully out for whatever licensing reasons or whatever is currently going on behind the scenes, then it's going to be really hard for Dead by Daylight to generate a lot of sales for these characters or character. The best way that they would have been able to actually push this out and get people to buy something like this was to introduce Boon Totems as some of their special features. And if it doesn't actually come with that survivor, at least bring it about in the patch, so people would be excited for the new survivor as well. This also sets up the potential to bring in a different legendary survivor, or license I should say, with different skins or whatever the case may be, but that's a whole separate thing that we'll get into. We then went on ahead to talk about what exactly Boon Totems would probably be like, and we speculated that it's more than likely that survivors would have to go around to dull totems, activating them, and while they're in the area of the Boon Totem itself, themselves, as well as their teammates, depending on what perk it actually is, could receive a nice little bonus. And as a survivor, you would have to protect your Boon Totems from the killers, because just like Hex Totems, they might be able to break them. In case you are currently really lost and you don't even know what Hex Totems are or what Boon Totems even mean, in the game there are 5 totems that spawn on the map, and as a killer, you can use perks called Hex perks that give you added bonuses that will basically light the totem on fire during the time that the perk is activated. Some of these are traps, like some of these boost up your power like Devour Hope or Noed, some of these are traps like Haunted Grounds, and some just do random effects like the Third Seal. This is what is pretty much going to happen for survivors now on the flip side, and instead of getting your perk working right away, you would actually have to find a totem that is dull or doesn't have a fire on it, light it, and you'll have a blue flame that ignites that your perk is now being activated. So how does this have to do with anything about what's coming out in the mid-chapter patch? Well, shout out to Leaks DBD, they actually posted on Twitter upcoming Boon Totems descriptions. Effect is still unknown. Boon Totems are meant to come with release of the new survivor on mid-chapter 21.5. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that this is 100% confirmed and set in stone. It's just leaks, and leaks can be 100% incorrect, but typically leaks are fairly accurate, and it does make a lot of sense as well, because we made a theory. We obviously spoke about it just now again, and it makes complete sense. And they actually provide us with a screenshot that reads out, survivor perks called Boon Totems will transform a dull totem into a Boon Totem when blessed by a survivor. Killers can snuff out Boon Totems to deactivate the associated Boon perk and dispel its blessings. So there we go. We pretty much have a tutorial hint showing us what Boon Totems potentially could be in Dead by Daylight. It basically confirms that our theory is more than likely going to be true, and that is really exciting. How are you guys actually feeling about Boon Totems coming into Dead by Daylight? And what does this mean for the new survivor, and what type of survivor it's going to be? Obviously, if we're blessing a dull totem, maybe they go something a little bit more alongside of the religious aspect or a cultist aspect, whatever the case may be. Maybe we get like a witch doctor survivor or something along the lines like that. It would be quite interesting. It doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a direct correlation, but as we know, most of the perks that are introduced into the game with the characters tend to correlate a little bit with their lore. Take a look at Meg, who's a runner who has Sprint Burst and Adrenaline. Take a look at Nia, who's had it really tough and had to live on the streets, so she has Urban Evasion and perks along like that. The list goes on and on. So Boon Totems being connected to the new survivor could more than likely mean that the survivor would have something to do with spells and blessings and whatever the case may be. It's really exciting and really interesting. Now, obviously, this is going to come out in the mid-chapter patch if these leaks are correct. We can probably see the mid-chapter patch PTB in about 3 to 4 weeks. So that'll be really interesting to see what's actually going to come out. We also know that this is going to be really close to Halloween. So it'll be really interesting to see what we get coming on out then. So how are you feeling about this? We actually ran a poll asking people what are their thoughts and opinions on Boon Totems and how would that affect their gameplay? Are they excited for it? Are they not? A lot of people were on the side of, killers already have so much things to worry about. Survivors have it easy. This is just one more thing that we're going to need to worry about. And then on the survivor side, they're very happy because they're excited that these things will help them out a lot when it comes down to actually surviving killers. As an asymmetrical game, it's going to be really difficult to get a definitive answer, but majority is split 50-50 as most things are in Dead by Daylight. But I still want to hear from you guys, and what do you guys think these Boon Totems are going to be? I'm personally assuming that these are going to be really strong, just like Hex Totems. As Hex Totems, we know we have something like Haunted Grounds, which gives you the one-hit effect for 60 seconds, same with Noed, until the totem is cleansed. So I'm assuming some of these effects might be really good if you're around the totem, or maybe if the totem is active. It really depends on what the power itself is going to be. Maybe you run a little bit faster and you get a little bit of haste. Maybe you recover from exhaustion a little bit faster, similar to Visual, even when you're running. These are cool concepts that they can use, and it opens the door to a lot more things. It is one more thing for killers to worry about, but I don't think it will be as overbearing as we may think it might be, considering we could easily because we can just deactivate a totem, and with high mobility, we can pretty much pinpoint where it is. But that's just my thoughts and opinions on the Boon Totems. I'm very excited that our theory actually is correct for once. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what it all turns out to be. But that is going to do it for me. Make sure you guys do come out to Twitch to check out some of the codes, and fan-made chapters are returning. A lot of people have been asking me for them, so we will be posting those bi-weekly. Stay tuned for that. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.